Lesson 7. Comments on Lesson 6. Lesson 6 illustrated 2 points of grammar. 1. The past continuous tense. Here are examples of it from that lesson. I told you I was going to tell a true story. If Aunt Aggie was doing anything, Pluto did the same. Aggie was always getting funny ideas. The cat was sitting on a chair and was eating bread and butter and was drinking tea. Pluto was enjoying himself. She had a parrot that was always talking. She was getting tired of this everlasting talk. He was drinking coffee and was smoking a cigarette. Aunt Aggie was looking at him in astonishment. You were telling us about your cat. You were saying what a wonderful cat she was. We make this tense by using the past tense of the verb to be in the present participle. Here is the past continuous tense of the verb to go. Past continuous tense. I was going. You were going. He, she, it was going. We were going. You were going. They were going. We use the past continuous tense to express an action that was going on or continuing in the past time. This tense is often used to show that an action was going on, or continuing, at a time when something else happened. An example will make it clear, e.g., as I was walking along Piccadilly, an action that was going on, a car ran into a bus, something else happened. Notice that we express the new happening by the simple past tense. Here are examples. Past continuous, for action going on. Simple past, for new action. Aunt Aggie and Pluto were eating their supper when the ceiling fell down on them. While he was having a lesson, Hob went to sleep. If Aunt Aggie was doing anything, Pluto did the same. While the man was looking in the shop window, the thief stole his watch. Sometimes the sentences may be the other way round, i.e. with the verb in the simple past tense first and the verb in the past continuous tense second, e.g. simple past. Past continuous. Hob went to sleep. While he was having a lesson, the thief stole the man's watch. While he was looking in the shop window, the ceiling fell down when Aunt Aggie and Pluto were eating their supper. 2. Reflexive pronouns and emphasizing pronouns. Notice these sentences from Lesson 6. Pluto was enjoying himself. When she washed herself, the cat washed itself. Pluto helped himself to the food. They were both enjoying themselves. When she looked at herself in the mirror, Pluto looked at himself. If she talked to herself, the cat opened its mouth as if it was talking to itself. Aggie thought to herself. We will divide one or two of these sentences into subject, verb and object, like this. We will divide one or two of these sentences into subject, verb and object, like this. Subject, verb, object. Pluto was enjoying himself. She washed herself. She talked to herself. He looked at himself. They were enjoying themselves. The cat washed itself. In every case, the object is the same person or thing as the subject. There is a difference in meaning between A. The man shaved him, and B. The man shaved himself. Or A. They fed them, and B. They fed themselves. In A, the action goes from one person to another. In B, the action doesn't go from one person to another. It comes back again, like the reflection in a mirror, to the doer of the action. The pronouns that express this are called reflexive pronouns. They all end in self, or selt for the plural, and are 9 in number. They are all shown here in sentences. I shaved myself this morning. If you are not careful, you will hurt yourself. Jan taught himself French. Lucille dressed herself carefully for the dance. One cannot always please oneself. The little dog can feed itself. We taught ourselves to swim. Jan and Olaf enjoyed themselves in Scotland. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. The reflexive pronouns. I see myself. You see yourself. He sees himself. She sees herself. It sees itself. We see ourselves. You see yourselves. They see themselves. Emphasizing pronouns. In Lesson 6 you also had these sentences. You don't believe that story yourself. Aunt Aggie told me the story herself. I will give Pluto the same food as I have myself. In these sentences the self-pronouns are doing a different work. If we divide one of the sentences into subject, verb and object, we get subject, verb, object. You don't believe that story. The subject and object are not the same person. The action is not reflected back, and in these sentences yourself, herself, myself are not reflexive pronouns. They could be left out and the sentence would still make sense. They are put there to make what is said stronger, to make it more emphatic, and so they are called emphasizing pronouns. Emphasizing pronouns sometimes have the meaning of alone, in which case they generally have by with them, e.g. this is an engine that goes by itself. The little girl traveled from London to New York all by herself. Here are the self-pronouns, reflexive and emphasizing. Singular, plural, first person, myself, ourselves, second person, yourself, yourselves, third person, himself, herself, itself, oneself, themselves. Hob. Now I understand something that happened to me a short time ago. I went into the post office with a letter in one hand and a stamp that I had bought in the other. And I handed them both to the girl there. No, sir, she said, you must stick the stamp on yourself. I couldn't believe my ears. I said, why must I stick the stamp on myself? It's the letter that I want to post. I see now that I made a fool of myself just because I didn't know the difference between a reflexive pronoun and an emphasizing one. Help. There are 3 uses of help in Lesson 6. 1. He helped himself to potatoes. To help oneself means to take, to put food on one's plate, drink in one's glass, etc. Here are examples. Help yourself to the chocolates. May I help myself to one of your cigarettes? I have come without any. May I help myself? Yes, there are plenty here. Help yourselves, everybody. 2. I'm sure he can't help talking if he eats the parrot. You had this construction, subject and verb plus gerund, in Book 1, e.g. Hob. Subject, doesn't like, verb, swimming, gerund, do they like learning? 3. That will help him to speak. Pronunciation drill, deal, instance, remark, beg, practice, chance, steal, introduce, return, health, slang, pardon, ceiling, mirror, risk, mention, stamp, pass, refuse, decide, pleasure, traffic, card, relation, reflect, parrot, remark, across, murmur, fool, murmur, case, close, apologize, astonish, confused, return, halfpence, hostess, polite, confused, introduce, halfpenny, post, instance, introduce, refuse, fried, strange, road, mirror, everlasting, decide, moment, Exercises. Exercise 1. Write out the past continuous tense of the verbs to do, to stop. Exercise 2. Put all the verbs in the following into the past continuous tense. Change or add other words if you wish, or if it is necessary. 1. Hob told a story. 2. Margaret is writing a letter. 3. We are listening to the music. 4. The singer is singing very well. 5. Jan and Olaf swam in the river. 6. Mr. Priestley has written a book. 7. The boys have worked very hard. 8. The gardener digs in the garden. 9. Jan will play football tomorrow. 10. They will look at the pictures next week. Exercise 3. Put the verb in brackets into the past continuous tense. 1. Hob got off the bus while it go. 2. Jan walk home when he saw Frida. 3. I came into the room because the boys make a lot of noise. 4. Jan hurt his leg while he play football. 5. The car hit the tree while it traveled at 60 miles an hour. Exercise 4. Put in the correct tense of the verbs in these sentences. 1. He read a book when I see him. 2. The cat eat its supper when the ceiling fall down. 3. We sing a song when Pedro come into the room. 4. While Mr. Priestley give a lesson, Sally the cat jump on his table. 5. When the phone bell ring, I work in the garden. 6. The rain begin to fall while we watch the boys playing football. 7. I see some beautiful dresses in the shop window when I come to the class yesterday. 8. Just as I get interested in my work, I have to go home. 9. Mr. Priestley write that book while he lived in Scotland. 10. As Hob come to the class he bite some cakes. Exercise 5. Put reflexive pronouns into the blank spaces. 1. Olaf cut when he was shaving. 2. Aunt Aggie saw in the mirror. 3. The cat saw in the mirror. 4. We saw in the mirror. 5. The children saw in the mirror. 6. I taught to play the piano. 7. The dog tried to bite me, but bit by mistake. 8. One can easily lose in the wood. 9. Jan and Frida lost there yesterday. 10. There are plenty of cakes here, boys. Help. Exercise 6. Put emphasizing pronouns into the blank spaces. 1. I made that box all by. 2. The children carried the chairs to the room. 3. Now, children, you must do this work. 4. Do you think, Margaret, that you could cook the dinner today? 5. This aeroplane flies by. Exercise 6. Put in the correct reflexive or emphasizing pronouns and say whether the pronoun that you put in is reflexive or emphasizing, and why. 1. My friends enjoyed at the theater. 2. He said he was not at the theater but I saw him there. 3. The dog hurt climbing over the gate. 4. Hob, you must do this work, no one must help you. 5. You can please, whether you go or not. 6. Did you make that box? 7. Yes, I made it all by. 8. Did Margaret teach to sew? 9. Yes, she learned all by. 10. You must stick the stamps on your letter. Dear friends, thank you very much for your support, for watching and for liking. I wish you success in learning English. Subscribe to our channel, and good luck.